lawsuits moving forward in the U.S. Court of Appeals that could upend the lives of DACA recipients around the country. And these are people, of course, who were brought here to the U.S. as children before June of 2007. They're able to work and stay in the country, but they have to reapply for DACA every 2 years.
Denver 7 attorney and reporter Jessica Crawford joining us now. So Jessica, Colorado is now getting into this legal battle to keep this program.
Yes, so the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit is taking up the case to decide whether or not DACA is legal. Now, thousands of people here in Colorado rely on the program so that they can continue living in the U.S. And Colorado is one of the many states urging that court to keep DACA in place. As Congress and the states struggle to manage the country's immigration system, the futures of DACA recipients hinge on a battle in court.
Many of the dreamers feel like they've been forgotten.
Immigration attorney Arturo Jimenez says recipients of Deferred Action for childhood arrivals are waiting on the outcome of a case in the Fifth Circuit. The case could ultimately go to the U.S. Supreme Court.
In the worst case scenario, if DACA has been declared to have been unlawfully implemented, then there would be some type of termination of the program.
DACA recipients are a limited number of people who were brought into the U.S. as children by 2007. They're able to work and stay in the country by reapplying for DACA every 2 years. If the program is terminated, DACA recipients could ultimately be forced out of the U.S.
We are defending the DACA program.
Colorado Attorney General Phil Weiser says he joined 23 other states in urging the Fifth Circuit to keep the DACA program in place.
This program protects the dreamers. President Biden has adopted regulations saying that in terms of people who might be deported, the last people online are the dreamers, people who've only known this country, people who want the chance to work, to serve in the military, to be a part of our nation. The DACA program, it gives them that peace of mind.
More than 1,400 active DACA recipients lived in Colorado as of March 2020, according to the American Immigration Council. Jimenez has this advice.
So DACA recipients really need to stay vigilant and stay on top of renewal.
While he says there's not a direct pathway to citizenship through DACA, he says recipients should contact an attorney to see if there's another way for them to legally stay in the country in the event that the program is ever terminated in the future.
They shouldn't panic. They should just make sure that they find out what options they might have.
So one way you can find out about your options, the Colorado Immigrant Rights Coalition. They're hosting a free legal workshop on Saturday, March 23rd. It's from 9 to 4 at the Arapahoe Library Eloise May branch. And there people can get help applying for citizenship or renewing their DACA. Now, I posted this information on my story at Denver7.com. In the studio, I'm Jessica Crawford, Denver 7.